It all started with anonymous notes. Small, folded pieces of paper, slipped onto my desk, tucked into my locker, even once, mysteriously appearing inside my lunch bag. Each note contained a single, perfectly formed sentence, a compliment, a small observation about something I'd done that day, something only someone who knew me well would notice. Like, "Your smile brightened up the whole library today," or "That presentation was fantastic. You explained it so clearly." At first, I was intrigued, then a little flustered, and finally, completely captivated. Who was this person? Was it someone I knew? Someone from my literature class? A classmate from my chemistry lab? My mind raced with possibilities. The notes were always kind, never over the top. They were just perfect. The perfect blend of admiration and mystery. They never demanded anything, never asked for anything in return, just sweet little expressions of appreciation. They became the highlight of my day, something to look forward to. I started leaving little clues in return, hoping to spark a response, a hint that I was aware of the notes. I wore my favorite scarf, mentioned a particular book I was reading, and even hummed a specific tune during my lunch break. It was a playful game, a silent, secret conversation only the two of us shared. One particularly chilly afternoon, I found a note tucked into the collar of my coat, a small, hand-knitted scarf, soft and warm, a shade of purple I adored. It wasn't just a note, it was a gesture of care, a silent expression of affection. My heart fluttered. This was different. This was personal. This wasn't just observation, this was thoughtfulness. This time the message was just simple: stay warm. The next day, I made a point of sitting near my crush Liam, who was constantly drawing in the class. Hoping the gesture would be a hint that I had noticed his drawing skills that were clearly above average. He never acknowledged the hints, but then, after class, he handed me a small sketchbook, a drawing of a girl, her face obscured by a scarf, her smile just slightly visible. I realized that the hints I had dropped, the scarf, the book, the tune, were all reflected in his drawings. It was him. Liam. My secret admirer was the quiet, thoughtful boy I'd always had a crush on, but had never dared to approach. I felt a wave of warmth, a comforting familiarity. All those small gestures of care, the notes, the scarf, and the drawing were an indirect way he tried to express himself. They showed me his shy, gentle nature. He was showing me he loved me in his own way. That evening, I carefully wrote a note of my own, a simple thank you, and slipped it into his locker. It wasn't about reciprocating the hints. It wasn't about solving the mystery. It was about expressing my gratitude for his kindness, his thoughtfulness, and the way he'd shown his affection. It was a way to finally acknowledge my feelings for him. The next day, he was waiting for me after school. He was even more nervous than I was. He stammered a little, blushed a lot, but he finally confessed his feelings. He admitted he liked me since my literature presentation last month. It was awkward, it was sweet, and it was perfect. It was exactly the kind of shy, perfect romantic confession that would fit a shy and gentle boy like him. It was the perfect ending to our secret game. We laughed, we talked, and for once, there was no mystery, no secret notes, just two people who finally found the courage to speak their hearts. The notes stopped, but the warmth, the connection, remained. Our secret admirer game ended, but our relationship started. Our romance continued, with a shared understanding only possible between two people with a history as unique and beautiful as ours. We continued our story, without any notes, just with the quiet, comfortable, happy feeling of being together. We were each other's silent wish. We learned to express our emotions to each other, not through secret notes but through clear and heartfelt words. We still occasionally laugh about the entire ordeal. We look back on those anonymous notes, and the hand-knitted scarf, and the shy yet amazing drawing. And remember how a secret admirer taught us both the importance of expressing our feelings, even if it's through a secret message. And sometimes, when I feel his hand in mine, I still feel the warmth of that little purple scarf, a reminder of how the shyest of gestures can speak volumes. Over time, our relationship evolved. We still share moments of quiet understanding, but we're both more open with our feelings. We've learned to express our love not through anonymous notes, but through shared smiles, gentle words, and the simple joy of being together. And the memory of that secret admirer, who was, of course, Liam, reminds us that love is often found in the quietest and most unexpected of places. And sometimes, the most beautiful conversations are those that go unspoken until the right time comes along. It's a story about how a secret admirer brought two people together who may have never otherwise found their way to each other. It's a story of shy affections and the courage it takes to finally reveal one's true feelings. It's a story of love found not in grand gestures but in small, thoughtful acts. It's a story that reminds us that sometimes the most beautiful love stories start with a simple, heartfelt note. And most importantly, it's our story, the story of how a secret admirer brought us together.